Alright guys, welcome back to a brand new lesson, and today I'm going to be showing you my thumbnails for my portfolio so I could break down how I created them, what was the thought process behind some effects and creating itself, so you could get a better grasp of how to think and how to make your make your idea into realization and reality actually. So here's my thumbnails, recent thumbnails, recent commissions and stuff. So here's the one that we recreated. The only thing that I've changed is I added the logo of his team right here, added the stripes that I showed you in last lesson, and basically I explained every step behind this thumbnail. So we're going to be moving quick from these two because I already explained them. As you remember, this one was simple. You already remember how it went. And right here, this is a commission. Actually, I'm working for this guy. I'm creating thumbnails for him. So because this game doesn't have a lot of high quality characters, or you can actually import them into Blender at the moment, the game is fairly new. It's called Hyperscape. What I do is I usually use his face because, as I said in our first video, it's the best clickbait thing you can have, a face expression. What I did right here is I used liquify effect to increase his eyes, make him pop, and to be honest, make him look a bit weird because that's going to be eye-catching. People are going to be interested in it. I used a simple text right here. Because he was playing from Northeast on EU servers, he had a lot of lag, so I went to point that out with the waveform and the ping right here. The kills are there, and as you can see, the lighting in the background making all of this separate from the background. I used a lot of Gaussian blur and radial blur for the background, and that's how I created this thumbnail. This one, I went with a really minimalistic look on this one. He got a world record for kills in Hyperscape. He got 51 kills, so I wanted to point out the 51 kills, so I made that the largest thing right here in the composite, of course next to his face because that's the most important part. I needed a shocked face of him, so I DM'd him. He took the picture, sent it to me. I color graded it a bit, dropped it down. The kills are right here. They're the biggest ones, and I dropped the shadow to separate them a bit from the background. The world record is a really cool font called Gotham font, and I added the Guinness World Record logo right here, so it would catch an eye, you know. For the background, I added yellow lighting to the bottom, expanded it a bit to the top, blurred background, and I added these confettis for, birthdays and special occasions so people would understand something special happened. And as you remember from our first thumbnail, I did this right here for the logo. I did the same thing here, right here with the Hyperscape logo. Or this one is also for Hyperscape, but kind of a different one. This was a Battle Pass review. I tried to point out the guns. The most important part about the thumbnail people will be interested about is what's new in the Battle Pass, in the first Battle Pass of the game. I used our pointer that I showed you how to create in our last game. Arrows, I blur the background a lot. Use our gradient method to add black to the shadows and blue to the highlights. Making point out, zoom them out as much as I could, and that's the whole composite. Really simple and really good looking. This one is a bit different from all the other ones. So this was for a montage. This is what I use for content creation. This style of the thumbnail, this method, this is for content creation. This right here is for montages. This one is a montage too. As you can see, they're really similar. This one is a montage too. So this one right here, what I did is I took a screenshot in the game, then cut out the gun and make a highlight around it. And on this side, I dropped the shadow so it looked, cinematic and give it a depth of field towards the text. I used Gotham font for this one too because I really like the font. It's really professional. I dropped the shadow on it. For the background, I just added some blurs, and dropped down the saturation a bit because it was really lit up. I color corrected the hell out of this gun and color graded it to make it look more cinematic. This kill thing right here, this skulls, it's the same thing as I added these stripes right here, if you remember from our thumbnail. Really simple thing like I found on Google, the kill feed PNG, placed a lot of them, tilted them and blurred them out a bit, and I added stripes from anime, and I added a bit of grain when color grading so it would look a bit better, in my opinion. Honestly, that's just personal preference. So This is a really minimalistic concept too, and I really like it. This is one of my favorite thumbnails that I've created, and yep, that's it for this thumbnail. For this one, basically the same concept. We have the arrow here saying best Valorant aim with a font. I don't remember the name of the font. I went into the game. I have this gun. I have this skin of the ghost gun in Valorant. I tilted the gun and took a screenshot. Then I proceeded to cut out with our lasso tool and our pen tool that I showed you how to use. And I on purpose added the finger right here, so I would highlight it over the text. And I added lighting from the bottom. I added some orange lighting from our tutorial pack. You have the same thing. And I just searched on Google particles overlay. If you go to images, let's see where it is. See, you can use literally all of this. I think I used this one. Nope. Maybe this one. I can't remember, but some of these, you know. And what I did is I think I used hue and saturation to make them look also yellow because they were red, I think. For the background, it was just some radial blur and stuff. And as you can see, it turned out really, really well. I'm really proud of this thumbnail. And yep. So for this one, I cut out the gun. I blurred it out a bit because I overlaid it with a text. And I added outer glow, but I didn't let it spill out all over it. But I actually made it rough, with rough edges. This character is quite the same too. Same thing, you know. Add a bit of the shadow behind the text, blur behind the text, some particles, really simple stuff, you know. As you can see, you're catching up by now of my style. It's basically blurring out and adding radial blur to the background, then adding lights to the side. Main subject is either the gun, a character from the game, like here, or the person who's in the video. And on the next side, there's a text and maybe something else that I want to portray with this arrow, this thingy right here, pointer. That's basically how my thumbnails go. This render right here, this is not my render. To be honest, I found this free on the internet. I inserted it. I blurred the background, had to cut out the background and work with some stuff. And I added the text. The text is really not something here, so I wouldn't recommend you to pick up this style, because the text is honestly not the best thing here. I did the hue and saturation thing with the arrow and I cut out the match history. This is the radiant icon that I added right here. That's how I fit up the background. I cut out the kills from a video that I had, so I just tilted them towards a bit to the side, so I stack up them in this particular way. Added glows behind everything, blue here, purple here, a bit of black here, blur the background, text right here. Simple stuff, simple stuff. I have some headers right here. If you want to show me how to create these headers or banners, call them whatever you want, let me know. I can create a course or a tutorial on this too. And yep, that will be it for the breakdown. So if you caught up by now, what I do is I have the subject or the character from the game really close up and really big. I add lighting, cool effects to the text, and I add some overlays and particles in the back. I add some arrows and pointers if I have to point something out, if it's a clickbaity thumbnail, the kills, and yep, that's pretty much it. So I hope you understood what you have to do behind these thumbnails when you're creating them. This is basically the concept that everyone uses. I hope you enjoy this. I hope you learned something new. Stick around to the next part to keep learning throughout this course. And if I'm pretty sure, let me just open up my course curriculum. Yep, the next one is how to earn your first money as a designer, get first clients. Actually, this is going to be a really fun one. I'm going to be appearing on camera and talking about this stuff. This is something that I could help you a lot with, since I've started looking for clients about a month ago, and I already got some of the top tier content creators to work thumbnails for them. So if you want to learn how to earn the first money, stick around, watch the next video, and thank you for having me here. I'm out.